where the rubber always meets the road, I think. Actually, I'm not even sure what that means.
Heartland Newsfeed Radio Network, live at heartlandnewsfeed.com.
Corner economist, senior economist here at the Illinois Farm Bureau, Mike Doherty. We'll talk about the jobs report and much, much more with Mike. Also, DeLaw Schonke filed a report as he was wrapping up his coverage in New Orleans, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association annual meeting there, a one-on-one conversation with the president of the Illinois Beef Association, Joni Bucher. Great conversation. They covered weather, markets, issues on the table for the national group, and much more. We'll have an updated forecast from Dan Hicks, and, of course, Jim Taylor will be along with a look at your overnight markets as we start another week. We'd like to remind you, or at least mark your calendars, for the 49th Annual Ag Mech Farm Expo. It will be held February 9th and 10th at Western Illinois University Macomb. For details, you can visit their Facebook page. It's facebook.com/WIU Farm Expo. Again, the 9th and 10th of February, Western Illinois. All that and much more coming your way. Stick around. RFD Illinois is on the way.
With this week's edition of Farm Week, the early word, here's Rita Frazier.
Illinois farmers value stewardship. That's evident in Illinois Farm Bureau's investment of nearly $1 million during the last 3 years on efforts to reduce nutrient losses from farmland. Learn more in the latest edition of Farm Week. Young farmers may find it difficult to buy farmland. However, with the right strategy and resources, they can successfully purchase acreage. Discover some farmland buying tips in Farm Week. And look for Farm Week's Spring Planting Special Edition on February 18th. And get an early outlook on this year's planting season.
No other farm weekly in Illinois has as many people on the ground in Illinois covering Illinois agriculture for you with the depth on key issues to help keep you profitable. And don't forget, you can get daily or even more frequent updates online anytime at farmweeknow.com.
We're back here on the RFD Radio Network. We're in studio with Mike Doherty, senior economist, Illinois Farm Bureau, the corner economist. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going there, Rita?
It's going great. You know, last Friday we talked about a good jobs report. You talked about the China trade talks that were going on. You also told us about a trip coming up for you that should be really interesting.
Yes, the U.S. Grains Council Annual Marketing Conference.
Tell us a little bit about that. Why is Columbia important, and more about the U.S. Grains Council?
So U.S. Grains Council has this marketing conference every year, and we learn a lot by attending, and we get some input into that organization, which is a premier international organization based in Washington, D.C., that has field officers, country directors in all the major countries around the world that import United States corn, barley, dried distiller grains from our ethanol plants, and ethanol. And so they are out there all the time, with partly funded by producers' money and partly funded by U.S. government grants, the market promotion programs under the USDA and FAA, Foreign Ag Service. And they are out there promoting our exports. So they pick a port town usually to hold this marketing conference in, add a tour of the port facilities to the events, the 3-day conference. This time, we're going to hold this conference as being held in Cartagena, Colombia. That's an old port town developed by the Spanish when they first arrived there, and it's on the Caribbean coast. You know, Colombia has both a Pacific coast and a Caribbean coast, and their big port facility is on the Caribbean coast, just south and down around from the Panama Canal. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays into the import and export of corn and dry distiller grains and barley from the Midwest.
And you'll be going with one of the board members, Ed Meese.
Yes, Ed Meese is coming as the board designated IAA Farm Bureau board member, who is a representative right to the U.S. Grains Council, and will participate in their deliberations They set policy at this conference, and so he will be giving voice to Illinois farmers on the policies and the strategies that we want the Grains Council to pursue to help increase our corn exports. I will be going along as the staff contact person and representing the staff from the Government Affairs and Commodities Division there at the conference.
Given all the question marks that remain in trade and everything worldwide as far as agriculture issues, what a time to be going. I mean,
it couldn't be any more timely. I'm excited about the information I'll be getting. It's an immersion in some of the most advanced, most technical, most accurate information anybody could ask for, country by country, region by region, around the globe as to what's going on with imports and exports of corn. And so I always come back with a tremendous amount of information and also relationships. I end up getting into a lot of conversations with some of the top economists and the market analysts that are in these various countries, and some great discussions about what's happening on the corn export market.
Looking forward to hearing more when you return. A minute and a half remains. You gave us a report on the jobs numbers on Friday. You were pretty pumped about those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, over 300,000. That was pretty amazing. We didn't expect that. That was about double what the economists had predicted. We'll see how it holds, whether, like, as next month, does that mean we're going to have a much lower number? Well, that's always a possibility. You really have to look at the quarter. But it's a great start to year 2019 that we did not expect, given that late November and December of 2018 looked like we were headed into a lower period of growth. And so, this is a great start to the year.
So with that jobs report, we talked with us on the program on Friday morning. Then throughout the day, how did the rest of the markets react to that news?
Well, at least the very early morning reaction of the Dow Jones Industrial Average was fairly muted with a 100-point gain, and the other indexes were flat, at least in the morning on that. And that's because it was felt that if we have a really strong hiring, this number 300,000 plus jobs, which was not predicted, that might change the stance of the Federal Reserve Board on its interest rate hike schedule. And, we've looked like they're backing off, and that was giving the business community a boost to think, okay, maybe we're not going to have as many interest rate hikes. Well, this might go the other direction because of this jobs report. But actually, it's too early to tell, so there's a lot of uncertainty over the future of interest rate hikes.
The corner economist, Mike Doherty. DeLoss is back with more RFD Illinois.
The USDA, National Agricultural Statistics Service, or NASS, recently mailed a survey to Illinois farmers that gives your farm a voice. You can help provide important data that will shape the future of nutrient laws and conservation in Illinois. Look for your NASS survey in the mail in early February. If you receive the survey, take a few minutes and complete it and return it in the prepaid envelope. Together, we are making a difference in Illinois water quality. Visit ilfb.org/NLRS for more information.
Here in Illinois, it's everywhere, and it's used in so many things. We're talking about Illinois homegrown corn. It's fuel for your vehicle on the way to the game. It's a delicious corn-fed bacon cheeseburger that's the talk of the tailgate. Corn is even used to make things like plastic water bottles and lipstick. We're proud that Illinois runs on homegrown corn, and you should be too. Learn more about how corn shows up in unexpected places at watchusgrow.org/corn. A message from Illinois corn farmers and their checkoff.
Welcome back to RFD Illinois. I'm DeLoss Yankee. Visiting with Joni Bucher, Illinois Beef Association President and McDonough County farmer. Let's get the weather talk out of the way. First of all, hopefully you had plenty of help back home. I'm sure you've been not necessarily a nervous wreck, but certainly keeping track of what's been going on the farm and what has been a memorable, historic, and horrible weather week.
It really has. My son's been in Fort Worth at the stock show, so I have not had help. I was on my own until I left to come here, and then I had two of his dear friends that stepped up to the plate that are helping so that I can fulfill my obligation here. But boy, the weather's been tough. Feeding cattle twice a day, extra tonnage, trying to get their energy up and keep them warm enough in these temperatures. Certainly adding additional windbreaks, adding additional bedding. When we talk about bedding, just keeping them off the ground and trying to keep them a little bit warmer than what they're experiencing laying on that cold ground.
You going to have enough bedding? I've talked to several who are especially concerned about how if February is going to continue to be cold, will there be enough to go around? Delayed corn and soybean harvests kept some folks from getting back in and baling stocks, and hopefully there's enough to go around. But what are your thoughts so far?
We bought early 110 bales. Last year we went through almost 400. We bought early 110 bales, and we secured another 70, and that was all we could find at that point in time. Hay is our bigger concern, and a concern for many this year. We had the craziest weather. Some places had, good moisture. Some places had too much moisture, so they couldn't get in and bale. And where I was, we were dry, so we had one cutting of hay, and that's it. So we've been buying hay, and hay is very difficult to secure now. And if you do find it, it's very expensive.
You had one cutting of hay in 2018?
One cutting of hay. We got dry and we got hot. We were just a little trail through west central Illinois of folks that CRP ground was even released for our area because it was so dry. So we got into serious trouble early with the drought, and it continued. So it's going to affect us this year very dramatically.
So when you talk about profitability, and you talk about the welfare for the cattle, and, you're still trying to raise a product which can be marketable, so you're getting tugged at different directions.
You absolutely are. It's a fine line. You're looking for alternative feeds. You're looking for alternative bedding. We rented stock fields from neighbors this year to run cattle on. We'll replace, some of the nutrients that they lost with manure this spring, so we cut some deals with them to rent some ground and then replace by hauling manure in there. So it's a time where we need to really reach out to each other, our grain family, farmers, friends, and our livestock folks, and work together because we're both in a pinch. So can you buy some stocks from somebody's stock bales, make them a little extra money, in a time where their grain prices are really low, and it's difficult for us all.
Disclosure that we're doing this on Friday morning while we're still down in the Big Easy. But I saw one report from Knox County of 5 inches of snow. Have you heard yet about what you have? And by the time you get back, it sounds like just a big old sloppy mess. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if it's better to leave when it's this cold and worry like I've worried. We have cameras, so I'm watching cattle, hourly, so I can call someone if I need someone out there immediately, or to go home to the mud. I prayed and prayed to get rid of the mud earlier in the month, and boy, did we get rid of the mud. So you want to be careful what you pray for, I guess. Be very specific. So we're going to go home. Again, the bedding needs are going to be astronomical. We're calving, so that's a time when you're bedding heavier anyway, and then to have either the extreme cold or the mud, it's going to make it difficult. I've talked to several veterinarians. We talk about cow health and calf health during difficult weather scenarios. I haven't talked to anybody about bulls yet. You got to have your bulls tested before you send them out in May, I would think, after a year that's gone on, or even a week that's gone on here.
You've got to have your bulls tested. I think everyone should do that annually anyway. That's vitally important. If you've got open cows at the end of the season, boy, you're in trouble. And with the cull cow market the way it is right now, you certainly don't want to ship a nice young cow because she's open, but you can't carry them either. So we're bedding really deep, really, really deep. We've got windbreaks for those bulls, and then we'll be testing. We've definitely got to do that. We test our young bulls anyway, but you can't take a chance at this point.
Right. So it's another expense, but open cows for months on end is a horrible expense. So yeah, that's hopefully a little prevention is worth more than a pound of cure in that case. So those friends of your sons that are working on the farm, but like a Chicks on the Square gift card or DQ Bushnell gift card, or how do you say thank you for something like that? Well,
when Levi Porter was my first young man that came by, and Levi came to see how the chores were done and to manage that, and I said, but I'll pay you when I get back, just keep your hours. And he said Quentin would do it for me, so don't worry about it. So kind of takes your breath away that he has friends like that are willing to step up to the plate. Craig Laughlin's been there just working his tail off, so appreciate that. Brian Locke has stepped up to the plate for us, and I don't know, I couldn't do what I do representing the industry, the cattle industry, from a national perspective as well as a state perspective without those folks. So friends and family are very important to me, and we'll take care of those guys when we get home. I don't know what we'll do, but we'll make sure we take care of them.
Well, good to see you again. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you, DeLoss.
Joni Bucher, McDonough County farmer and president of Illinois Beef Association, visiting late last week at the Cattle Industry Convention, and certainly wishing all of those who came down to Louisiana with a safe trip home, most likely now dealing with some sloppy conditions back home. We'll break now for markets and weather.
With the RFD Ag Market Summary for this Monday morning, I'm Jim Taylor. Corn slightly higher, beans higher, and wheat ending Friday higher. March corn closing at $3.78 and a quarter, up 1 3/4. May corn up 1 3/4, $3.87, and July corn up 2, $3.94 3/4. March beans closing at $9.17 3/4, up 2 1/2. May beans up 2 1/4, $9.31 1/2, and July beans $9.44 1/4, up 2 1/4. March wheat closing Friday $5.24 1/4, up 7 3/4. May wheat up 6 1/2, $5.28 1/4, and July wheat $5.32, up a nickel. March bean meal $3.11.80, that's up 1.80. March bean oil $29.89, down 28 cents. And current electronic overnight trading, March corn down 1/2, May corn down 1/2, and July corn down 1/4, $3.94 1/2. March beans in the overnight down 1/2, May beans unchanged, and July beans $9.43 3/4, down 1/2. March wheat in the overnight down 2 pennies, May wheat down 2 3/4, and July wheat $5.28 3/4, down 3 1/4. The outside markets, April Brent crude oil up $1.91 a barrel, 62.75. The April gold contract down $6.70 this morning, 13.15.40. In the livestock market from Friday, February lean hogs 56.35, up a dime. April lean hogs down a dime, 60.12. February live cattle 125.45, up 65 cents. April live cattle down 2 pennies, 126.27. March feeders ending Friday 142.52, down 2 cents, and April feeder cattle down 27 cents, 144 even. Illinois direct barrels and gilts trading $1 higher on Friday at 28.37. I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather with the early morning weather update on the RFD Radio Network on this Monday morning. A quick warm-up spread eastward across the central and eastern part of the country late last week into the weekend. Daytime highs on Sunday ranged from the 40s in northern Illinois up into the 60s in the southern part of the state. Temperatures early today are mild across the region, with most areas in the 40s and 50s. A new weather system will be pushing eastward across the area today. This will bring some areas of light rain or drizzle to Illinois this morning, possibly a little bit of light snow or flurries to the northern part of the state this afternoon into this evening. Colder air behind this system will start to move into northwest Illinois this afternoon and down across the region tonight into Tuesday. It does look like that initially the coldest air moving into the upper Midwest will stay to the north and west of Illinois for the next several days, and a fairly wide range of temperatures will occur across the Midwest from northwest to southeast, with readings ranging from well below normal in northwestern areas to well above normal in the southeast. The boundary between these temperature trends will be across Illinois much of the time. It does look like generally temperatures will average near to above normal across the state through at least Wednesday and Thursday of this week, before some colder air pushes southeastward farther into the region Friday into the weekend. There will be several chances for precipitation coming up across the Midwest this week, ranging from mostly snow in northwestern areas, a mix of precip just to the south and east, and rain, especially in the Ohio Valley. These mixed precipitation chances will occur across Illinois fairly frequently during the week. It does look like any major snowfall, though, will likely stay just to the north and to the northwest of the state much of the time. As I mentioned, some colder air will make its way farther southeast into the region late this week into this upcoming weekend.
Join Illinois Farm Bureau for the 2019 Governmental Affairs Leadership Conference, Taking Charge of Change. This one-day event takes place February 19th at the President Abraham Lincoln Hotel in Springfield. It covers policy information, state and national legislative updates, and concludes with a legislative reception. Hear from keynote speaker Jesse Waters, co-host of The Five and host of the Fox News program Waters World. To register, contact your county farm bureau or visit ilfb.org/GALC for more information.
We know you want the best for your family. We do too. That's why Illinois farmers continually look for new ways to help. We're working with Mother Nature to preserve water, protect land, and provide food. From our fields to your table, we want what's best for all of us and for future generations to come. Learn more about conservation efforts at ilfarmersconserve.com. Preserving our water, protecting our land, providing our food.
This message brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau.
All Ag.
All Illinois.
All Now.
There are a lot of smartphone apps out there, but do they have what's important to us here in Illinois? The Farm Week Now app does, and it's always at your fingertips. All Ag, All Illinois, and 24/7 where and when you need it for free. Go to your app or Play Store on your smartphone, hit search, type in Farm Week Now, that's one word, and download it today. Brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau, where we're all about farm, family, and food.
RFD Radio Network's Rita Frazier connects rural routes for you. Rita delivers passion and reliable information to listeners on the RFD Radio Network. Her radio career spans close to 3 decades. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I grew up on a small farm. My job today allows me to connect with people from all walks of life and experience opportunity every day. I get to talk about what I love, farming.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
That's all the time we have for this edition of RFD Illinois. Thanks for starting your day with us. It is now time to salute an Illinois community. Today, we head to Ogle County and salute the city of Byron. They call themselves the Gateway to the Rock River Valley, population 3,753. The salute brought to you by Country Financial. Your farm is your family's legacy and a part of your hometown heritage. While you work sun up to sundown to get the job done, they're here protecting you and the things you love every step of the way. Country Financial. Learn more by visiting countrycrop.com. On behalf of the entire RFD radio team, I'm Rita Frazier. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us here on the RFD Radio Network.
Hey, you know, a great way to reach farmers, reach those in agriculture, is through local radio. In fact, Rita, from the National Association of Farm Broadcasters, they have research that shows that farmers listen, 87% say they listen 3+ days a week, 74%